Well, yes, indeed, there's been a new twist as of yesterday concerning the ongoing controversy rocking the judiciary. That's because the NJC has given Justice Ibrahim Muhammad and the suspended CJ and Walter Onnoghen 7 days to respond to different petitions against them. One of the major decisions taken at the NJC meeting, which was presided over by former President of the Appeal Court, Justice Umar Abdullahi, in Abuja yesterday. The 4 petitions considered included one against Justice Onnoghen and by Zikalahi Ibrahim of the Resources Center for Human Rights and Civil Education, 2 petitions against Justice Ibrahim Muhammad, one by the Center for Justice and Peace Initiative, and another petition against him by Ulisa Abakuba. The NJC also considered the petition against the CCC chairman Danladi Umar by the Center for Justice and Peace Initiative, which was referred to the Federal Judicial Service Commission. The NJC spokesman, Soji Oye, in a statement also did say that the council had to reduce the usual response period from 14 days to 7 days because of the gravity of the accusations.
And Justice Walter Onnoghen has filed an appeal challenging the ruling of the Code of Conduct Tribunal at the Court of Appeal. According to the appeal, the suspended CJN pleads that the chairman of the CCT and a member, Mrs. Julia Nabo, erred in law and violated the Constitution when they ordered his suspension. He also claims that the CCT chair and Mrs. Nabo violated his right to fair hearing by not giving him the opportunity to fair hearing. So he's asking the court to set aside the ruling of the CCT, asking him to step aside as the Chief Justice of Nigeria and Chairman of the National Judicial Council. These are interesting times that we have to say, right?
Okay, so we'll delve into that right away. We're heading to our studios in Abuja. We've got some guests who are still expecting some others. But first, we've got Chikodi Okeoji, who is a legal practitioner. He joins our studio in Abuja. We also do have Dr. Tanko Yunusa, who is the presidential candidate of the NCP. But we're expecting Tajuddin Ladoja, a legal practitioner, as well, to come into the fray. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. Well, let's take a look at, let's start from Mr. Okeoji at the moment. Yes, we do know that the NBA gave a directive. Today is the second day of that directive following this NJC's meeting yesterday. What's your impression of how all of this is playing itself out?
Well, the NJC's, the NBA's directive has been on since yesterday, and it will end today. Personally, in my opinion, I don't see the utilitarian value of that directive to boycott the courts. I was thinking that the NBA would have done something more stringent, especially invoking some disciplinary measures on persons like the Attorney General of the Federation, who, knowing what the law is, went contrary to the law, going to the CCT to get an order, even while there was a pending appeal at the Court of Appeal and a pending notice motion for stay of execution, which was duly served on his office. I think the authorities are clear. The authorities of the Supreme Court in Vaswani and Savaka, Kigo and Holman, SLB Consortium and the rest are very clear. When there is a notice of appeal, more so the appeal had been entered, a notice of a motion for stay of proceeding had been filed, and same was also served on the AGF. I think it was wrong to proceed, even though there was no direct order.
But how does one respond to this? Do you ignore the person who issued the order in the first place?
Actually, the CCT order, the ex parte order granted by the CCT, in my opinion, you will see that the CCT did not have the powers to make that order. The CCT has powers, that section gives the CCT the powers to only punish someone who has been found guilty, pursuant to section 23 sub 1. So making an interim order would seem as though the CCT had found the CJN guilty. So the CCT was wrong to have made such order. And even going beyond that, I don't think the CCT, the act itself, that section 23 sub 1 and 2 of the CCT, which says that the CCT has the power to order that a person found guilty should vacate. I don't think the CCT has that power. I think that section contravenes section 254D of the Constitution, which gives powers for deciding on issues of employment, termination of employment, or any office to the National Industrial Court.
Okay.
I think the CCT acted ultra vires its powers.
Okay, let me bring in
this interim order seemed to have decided the substantive suit or the substantive charge, as it were.